What's up, my friends? Welcome to my channel. If you guys have never been here before, my name is Lindsay Rago. Welcome to all of you who are new. And if you saw the thumbnail, you know exactly what this video is going to be talking about. But I have to define a couple things to start, because I wrote on the thumbnail binging or compulsive eating, or like those two disorders might seem like the same thing, but they're actually not. So if you're a binger, if you binge on food, that's eating until you're physically sick. You are ill, you need to sit down, you cannot put another bite in your mouth. That's a binge. The difference between that and compulsive eating is that compulsive eating is just the inability to stop. Like, you start eating and then you can't stop. You don't necessarily eat till you can't, but you're not able to shut your brain off, shut your body off, and stop yourself from eating something. But what I want to specifically talk about is not binging, it's compulsive eating. So, because I personally have never struggled with binging. I've been one to restrict, I've been one to compulsively eat, but I've never been one to binge. So I do have a ton of resources for people who do binge, so if you are here because of that, I'll link some videos in the description below. One of my favorites is Randy Kennedy's story and her ways that she overcame her binge eating disorder. So if this is you, X out of this video as much as I appreciate you and go watch that. But if you're here for the other reason, or you're just curious, then let's talk about compulsive eating. So personally, I struggled with compulsive eating for a long time, and what I did is I just called myself a snacker. I was like, oh, I'm just a snacker, I really don't like big meals, I just like to snack. When in reality, what was actually happening was I would walk in, whether I was like bored or stressed or anxious, like whatever it was, I would walk into my kitchen and just like shovel handfuls of cereal in my mouth and just not be able to stop. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm done. And then I walk back in 5 minutes later and do the same thing until I ate like a whole box of cereal, or I ate a whole bag of granola, or in one case an entire pound of nuts at once. And it was like, oh, I just had that taste in my mouth and I'm craving it. And I never really like put a stop to it. And so if this is you and you feel like you're just, no matter what you do, you're not reaching your goals or starting to see progress in your body, that is a major, major reason. Because what tends to happen with this is you'll overeat something that's not very filling, and then you'll either, one of two things, you'll either tell yourself that that's all your food for the day, which is what I would tend to do in the past, or you won't even think about it and you've just like added that to the rest of your food for the day because it wasn't filling, you weren't full, so you're gonna keep eating. So in one, you're eating not enough food, not enough variety of macros, no micronutrients, or too many of one, not enough another, or you're way, way over the amount of calories you think you're consuming. So both are completely unproductive. So that's why if this is you, you gotta stop. But it's not as easy as just stop snacking. It's not that easy. I have a friend who said that everybody makes her feel very embarrassed. They're like, well, why can't you just stop? And it's something up here. It's not as easy as just saying, oh, I'm just gonna stop now. Like, it is, but it also isn't. Like, you have to have strategies, and you have to understand that that's not a good thing first. Because if you don't think it's a bad thing, you don't think it's holding you back, then you're never gonna stop, because why would you? Because whatever you're eating tastes good. What I want to talk about is ways to stop this, and that's the why that you need to stop. So there's a few things. So I talked about this on my Instagram, and I wanted to make sure to bring it to YouTube too, because I feel like it reached a lot of people on Instagram, so it might be better to discuss it in depth. Usually it's some combination of these things, but it breaks down to like 3 usual reasons. So first of all, your diet is not set up in such a way that you are getting enough food and different varied food sources. So with that, if that's the case, then you're gonna be really hungry, and you're gonna want to just keep eating those easy foods that are usually not micro or macro dense, and they aren't gonna fill you. So you're always gonna be hungry, always gonna be snacking, and not being able to stop yourself because you're just like, well, I'm hungry, I need to eat. Get that figured out. If you have questions, please shoot me an email on how to set up like an actual diet plan or a macro plan. That's really important. And the second thing is you've got some stuff going on up here that you want to be distracted from. So whether that's stress, anxiety, something awful happened at work, so your family's driving you crazy. If something is happening and you want to be distracted from it, so you go to your kitchen and you just shovel food in your mouth, not necessarily till you're sick, but you can't stop yourself because it feels good to be distracted. The way to fix that is to go back to the drawing board, figure out what is stressing you out, and then attack that. Don't just attack the eating first. Attack what's actually happening and why you feel this way, why you feel like you need the distraction of food. Usually, it's pretty easy once you sit down and think about it to figure that out. Maybe you're on a diet plan, which would be like specific foods you need to eat all day, every day, and never ever letting yourself have fun foods or foods that you like. So that doesn't mean like cake and cookies. It might mean pasta. It might mean bread. It might mean any variety of things. If you aren't allowing yourself to have those things in your diet as like a regular thing or like a weekly thing, like ice cream or something, then you're gonna have wild desires to go off of your diet plan, because personally I find that that's absolutely not sustainable. I do it in prep, and by the end of prep I want to have other foods. There's nothing wrong with eating a variety, eating anything that you want, as long as you know what you're intaking. So using like MyFitnessPal, there's a million tracking apps that you can use to make sure that you're hitting your macros, you're hitting your calories, but maybe one day you're craving a donut, so you have a freaking donut. That's not gonna throw you off as much as restricting and then going all out and eating everything one day and saying screw it. The best way to attack any of those reasons is to take every single instance, which I always tell my clients, every single instance that you feel the desire to go grab a handful of something that you don't want or need. For me, it was cereal or granola. Every single time I put my hand in the box, I literally had to stop myself and take my hand out and say, no, I'm not gonna do that. You have to do that for every single instance. Like if you go for the peanut butter jar, you might even take a full spoonful out and be like, well, I already got it. Like, it's just one, it's fine. No, if you really want to attack that bad habit, put the spoon back in, scrape the peanut butter off, and put it away. I had instances where I would actually take cereal into the other room and be like, I am not going to eat this, and I would walk back and put it back. And I had to do that for months, guys. If it's really a problem, it's gonna take a lot of time and consistency with trying to break the habit. So that is all I have for you guys. So compulsive eating can really be a big problem and the reason you're not reaching your goals. So if this is you, don't feel defeated, don't feel upset, just feel ready and start attacking it from today, moving forward whenever you see this. So thank you guys so much for watching. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday's typically a vlog, Wednesday is typically like a sit down video like this, and then Friday is training focused. So thank you for watching. If you are new here, please like this video and hit subscribe. I'd love to have you as a part of my YouTube family, and I will see you guys on Friday. So, love you.